Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great week. Finally, we get a good UFC card. It's not the greatest pay-per-view event, but it's still pretty solid. We got UFC 316 to talk about here, and let's get right into it. I've got a lot of singles this week, more than I would normally have. I normally do a lot of alternate round prop parlays, but this week I had a couple singles that really called out to me and called my name. So let's get going on this card. And the first fight of the night, sorry, I had something pop up on my screen. I don't even know what it was, but is going to be Quillian Sawkilled versus Yanel Ashmoose. And this one here, I really don't have much to say about. I think Sawkilled is going to be better everywhere. And that's my little one. And then I just think he's just going to be better everywhere. And he can win by any method. This is a no bet for me, but I do like Sawkilled to get the win. Next fight on the card is going to be Jekka Sergey versus Ju Sang-woo. This is another one where I just think Sang-woo is going to be better everywhere. This one here, I do like him to win inside the distance though, but it's now up to a minus 165 for that. So I'm not going to use that as a single, but I will be using him on the money line as a parlay, even though he's a minus 500. I'm still going to do it. If you want to parlay his inside the distance, I don't mind that at all. So those are the first two fights of the night. Now the next fight is going to be Arian Lipski or Arian De Silva versus Con Wang. And this one here, this one's a tough one now because Lipski came in 6 pounds overweight. So I would make sure. I still have not heard anything whether or not the fight's been canceled or if she's just giving up, half of her winnings or what's going on yet. So definitely, if you're going to make a wager on this fight, I would definitely just double check and make sure that it's on first. But I do like Wang. I like Wang to be the stronger, quicker, more technical striker. I think in order for Lipski to have a chance in this fight, she's going to have to take it to the ground, but I don't see her getting it there. And I like Wang to get the W here. I'm leaning it to go all 3 rounds and to win by decision, but it wouldn't shock me to see her end up getting a knockout either. And then our next fight is going to be Markel Medeiros versus Mark Choinsky. This is Choinsky's debut. He's going to be a primary wrestler. And Medeiros is going to be a primary striker. He's going to be the better striker. He's going to have better movement. He's going to be a little more athletic on his feet. Going to be a little more technical. Choinsky's only shot is to get it to the mat and maybe get a submission, but I don't see that happening. So my pick is going to be Medeiros, but I don't have anything on this fight either. Yeah, the early fights, I really don't have a lot of plays on them. I mean, if you wanted to play, something, I mean, you can, but I'm going to choose to stay away from playing anything on those. And then our next fight on the prelims is going to be Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustafsson. Gustafsson was supposed to fight last week. I don't really care for this matchup this week. I liked this matchup better last week. I think Gustafsson is just a chaotic, hard-pressed, wild brawler. And I think that Williams just might be a better version of him. And Williams is has a pretty decent chin on him. So I don't know as if Gustafsson can get the finish. And if it gets out of round one, I think he's done. I mean, I think Williams is going to win this fight regardless, but it's going to be first round KO by Gustafsson or nothing. If you want to take a shot with something in this fight, I'm not playing it. I'm probably not going to play it, but you could do fight to end by KO. I believe it's a minus 110, which would just mean it doesn't matter who wins. It just has to end in a knockout. That's not a bad look, actually. And then our next fight that we're going to talk about is actually one of my favorites. Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now this one here, there's a lot of people on both sides. Now me personally, I'm all over Sergey Spivak. I think on the feet it's going to be a little bit closer than what people think. Spivak has improved on the feet, and Acosta's striking, I don't think it's that great. He's got wide looping shots, almost like a baseball throw. Well, I mean, he used to play baseball, so that's kind of where it comes from, I think. And he doesn't really have a lot of power. He's got some, but not too much. And I like Spivak to take this to the mat where it's going to be a huge disadvantage for Acosta. Spivak, it might take him one takedown or three, or just rag down for 3 rounds. But I think he gets it there. I really like him on the money line. And I'll pull up the couple plays I got with him. I'll scroll them at the bottom right now. And I've got Sergey Spivak money line. I got it at like a minus 138, but it's a minus 142 now. And then I did play on DraftKings over a half a round and on the money line minus 110. And that is my best bet. Now, if you don't have DraftKings and able to do that, then just play the money line. Or I really don't want to say take a shot with like a double chance, like submission slash decision, even though I think he'll win by submission, but I don't want to like recommend that and then have him win by knockout. So I would just pay the juice at a minus 140 and move on. And that's one of my favorite plays on the entire card. So pull that off. And then our next fight is going to be Osmad Murkananov versus Brendan Ribeiro. This year, I think this is going to be a squash match. I mean, Murkananov is going to be better everywhere. This is going to stay on the feet. But he could wrestle if he needed to. I mean, he's going to be the better wrestler too. So I like him to win by knockout. I like him to win inside the distance as a parlay piece. But those odds are gross. It's like a minus 250. So one thing that I am going to take just a small little sprinkle, just a little bit. I mean, you don't need to put too much on it because it's, there's a chance it doesn't come through. There's a great chance it don't come through. But I figured just for a fun little wager for I'll do like $5 probably. And that's second round KO plus 340 on FanDuel. I mean, so that's something small I'm going to do on the prelims here. Sorry. So yeah, I really like him by knockout, but that's like minus 200. So, but I do have them in a parlay, and I will pull those up at the end. I will also pull up all of my singles together at the end, even though I'm running them on the ticker as we go. And then the next fight is Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. I like Joshua Van here. It's just unfortunate that his line has gone from like a minus 450 beginning of the week to now it's a minus 700. And I'm not playing it there. You know, there's a lot of people thinking he's going to finish it inside the distance. I personally don't think he's going to. I think it's going to the scorecards, but that's just me. So he is going to be the better technical striker. He's going to be able to dictate where this goes on the feet. So I just like him to be winning all the key moments. And I like Silva, I like Van to get the win here, but I don't have a play on it. I am using over 1.5 as a parlay piece. I will pull those up at the end. And then one of my other favorite plays is Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix, and I am on Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix is coming over from Bellator and Bellator / PFL, whatever you want to call it. He only had one fight in the PFL. And, gosh, sorry. I don't know what's going on, but Bautista will probably be slightly better on the feet, but it's going to be fairly close. But Patchy Mix is going to be night and day. Like, he's probably the best grappler in the UFC, at least in his weight division. So I really like him a lot. So I like him on the money line, minus 174, and then sub/decision, minus 145. I will tell you this, the double method has moved. It's now a minus 155. I do have a little bit on over 1.5 rounds and on the money line, so you could play that. Or if you have the ability to do a same game parlay on DraftKings, then you could do like an over half a round mix on the money line, and then mix to get like 1 or 2 takedowns and see what kind of odds that gives you. Actually, I'll work it up really quick right now, just so that we have an idea what the odds would be here. I got over half a round, mixed money line, and then if we add 1 takedown to it, it makes it a minus 115. If we add 2 takedowns to it, it then makes it a plus 140. I like the plus 140 a lot more, but that's me. I get a little greedy sometimes. So if you can do a same game parlay on DraftKings, then I highly recommend over a half a round, Patchy Mix on the money line, 1 takedown, minus 115. If you want plus money, change his 1 takedown to 2 takedowns, and you get a plus 140. Those are 2 really good looks in order to get away from the minus 174 or the minus 145. I like that a lot, actually. I like them both. And then on to our next fight. We got Vincent Luque versus Kevin Holland. I've gone back and forth on this one. I just don't trust Kevin Holland. I mean, I lean for him in this fight. I think he's going to be better on the feet. He's definitely more dangerous on the feet by far. But I just don't trust him. Sometimes he, grapples too much or just does stupid things that makes a big mistake. But he should get the win. One, I'm not betting anything on this fight, but if I was to, it would be a parlay piece on fight not to go the distance. That's like a minus 200. That's I don't really have much. I'm just not playing anything on this one. I lean Holland, but I don't trust him. And then next fight is we're getting towards the end now. We got Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Body Bags Pfeiffer. This fight was supposed to happen like 3 months ago or back in March, and Pfeiffer got food poisoning, and then he went off on Mexico, told them how much they suck and how bad their food is and how bad just everything there is, and supposedly he was staying in a tent, but I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, I like Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer's going to be better on the feet by a lot. He has way more power. He's the better technical striker. And one of the biggest things, too, is he's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. So that's pretty big. I mean, or it can be. I mean, Gastelum's going to have to figure out a way to close the distance. The only problem is Gastelum's got a brick head. So I don't know if Pfeiffer can knock him out. I know there's a lot of people on his knockout, and if Gastelum wasn't so strong or so tough, I would lean that way. I do like Pfeiffer to get the win. I'm just not sure how. And then going back to the Holland-Luque fight, this is one thing I forgot to mention. Holland does have like a 5 to 6 inch reach advantage, so Luque is going to have to find a way to close the distance and more than likely get takedowns too. So that's another reason why I'm leaning towards Kevin Holland here. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I forgot to when I was breaking down the fight. And now we will go on to we are now at the co-main event, and we've got Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. Personally, Pena, I don't like her at all. I think she's very petty. She's just, I still feel like she's still butthurt that she didn't get the third fight versus Nunes because I think she just wanted the big payday. I think she felt like she was due for a big payday, and to be honest, she didn't deserve another fight anyways. But Nunes retired on her anyways, and then she got all pissed off over it. And so I don't think she's very good, to be honest. I mean, if you watch the Amanda Nunes fight back, I mean, watch the one where she wins, and then immediately watch the next one. She fought 2 different fighters. She fought in the first one that she got lucky and won. She fought a sick, injured Amanda Nunes. You can tell in that first round in that fight that Amanda Nunes is gasping for air before the end of the first round. I totally feel like Amanda just threw everything she had at her in the first round and tried to get a knockout in the first round. And I think she told herself, if I don't get a knockout in the first round, then the second there's a submission attempt, I'm just going to quit. I don't want to say that she quit, but she tapped so fast it's not even funny. I mean, I could tell she was not feeling good. I mean, her mouth was wide open in the first round, and she was injured. I think a knee or something like that was bothering her. But I gave her a lot of credit for, going through with the fight anyways. And then the second fight, She ragged Hauser for 5 rounds. What did she beat her, like 50-43? I mean, that's insane. That's, couple, or no, 52-43 or 53, whatever it was, but it was insane score. So, no, it was 50-43, sorry, because she had a 10-8 round. That's what it was on all 3 judges' scorecards, I think. So, it's going to be close on the feet, though. I mean, I will give Pena that, but Kayla's going to use her pressure wrestling to get this to the ground, to get this to the mat. She's not going to be successful on every single takedown, though. It's not who she is. But she's just going to be able to overpower her and get her to the mat. And when she gets her to the mat, she's definitely going to be positioned over submission. She may get lucky and find a sub, even though I don't think she does. But she's going to be more in the position over submission and ground strikes. And one thing to keep in mind, this is New Jersey. They do not have the unified rules, so there's no 12-6 elbows, so you can't go like this on top of their head. You can't do that. And if a fighter's has a knee on the ground and a hand on the ground, they are grounded and you can't hit them. So just keep in mind that fighters are going to be protected from those 2 things during this event because Jersey does not have the unified rules. So that's something to keep in mind too. I don't really think it's going to play much of a part, but it possibly could. I could not come up with how I really think this is going to go down. So here's what I did. I've got a single on fight to start round 4 at a -110 on DraftKings. Now I also have up over 3.5 rounds at a +105, just for people who can't play, just in case your book doesn't have start the 4th round option, you can do this other option. And the reason why I didn't go with over 3.5 rounds is because I felt like for another 2.5 minutes, it wasn't that much more value. It's only another 15 cents. And I didn't feel like that was enough of a value to do the over 3.5 instead of start round 4. So that's why I went with start round 4 at a -110 instead of over 3.5 rounds. I also don't hate a little ladder. Put a unit on start round 4. Then you could put a sprinkle on over 3.5 if you wanted. And then over 4.5 is now a +160. You could throw, a half a unit on that. And then if they all cash, you're up a couple units. If only one of them cashes, then you'll probably break even. I don't hate that either if you want to try something fun like that. And then our last fight of the night, the rematch, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley. And last time I was on Merab, and I'm not a big Sean O'Malley fan at all. Actually, now that he's mellowed out and he's not quite as big of an ass, I don't mind him as much anymore. But this line is just too wide. I had no choice but to go with Sean O'Malley. I mean, I did a small video on Monday. He was a +270. I loved it there. I did see he was back up to a +250 just before I started this recording, so I don't mind that at all. Actually, I like it. So what I would recommend, well, I mean, if you want to play just O'Malley, just play the +250. Me, I'm going to show you what I did. I did a lot of little things. And here's what I did. Beginning of the week, I did do a half a unit on O'Malley finish only plus 132. But that is now like a minus 115. So the odds are gone on that. Now if it goes to a decision, I get my money back anyways. So that's my thinking behind that. Is I don't think he's going to get knocked out. So therefore, I really like that a lot. So what I did was O'Malley money line over 1.5 rounds plus 320. This is now a plus 330 if you get it right now on DraftKings. If you do a same game parlay format on DraftKings and click on O'Malley money line over 1.5 rounds, I just did it like literally before I started recording. I added a little more to my, units on this, and it was a plus 330. I currently have approximately 5 units on this. And if it comes through, I'm going to profit pretty close to 10 units. Not quite. I think like 8. I think like 8 units I'll profit if they all come through. So I'm waiting to see if the line moves a little bit. And if it does, then I'm going to bet the other side and bet Merab by decision. But right now it's a minus 150, so I'm not going to do that. Now, as you can see on the scroll, I also did O'Malley significant strikes over 62.5, minus 115. I think that's going to close at 70. The only fight he's ever had where he's gone under 62 significant strikes in a fight that's gone at least 3 rounds is the last Merab fight. And he literally only had like 35 significant strikes going into that last round. If I'm not mistaken, he ended up with 14 significant strikes in the 5th round against Merab. So basically the way I see this is O'Malley has scaled back on partying from what I can see. His social media, he has given up a lot of money by not doing podcasts, by not being on social media. He's really seemed to clean up his life. He says he hasn't been drinking. He hasn't been smoking weed. He says he hasn't been doing the extracurricular things. It seems like he's really growing up and he's taking this serious. If this didn't mean a lot to him, he would have continued his social media because he probably lost out on some coin by not doing that. I'm assuming he did at least. So I like O'Malley for the value reasons. Am I saying he's going to win the fight? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for the value, he is the right side. Last fight, he was a minus 125. Now he's a plus 250, plus 270, wherever you get it at. I don't buy it. I don't think it's that big of a mismatch. So another way to look at this would be a plus 5.5 with O'Malley, but that is now a minus 165. So saying that, I'm now going to work on pulling up some of my parlays. So here are my singles. Let's go through all the singles one more time. We have Sergey Spivak minus 142. We also have over a half a round and money line minus 110 if you can do a same game parlay on DraftKings. That is my best bet of the week. Then we've got Patchy Mix minus 174 on the money line. We got Double Chance sub/decision on FanDuel at a minus 145. That is now a minus 155. Then we've got Pena and Harrison start round 4 on DraftKings minus 110. And the over 3.5, if you can't play the start of round 4, is a plus 105. Then we got Sean O'Malley, significant strikes on DraftKings, over 62.5, minus 115. If you want to pay some juice, you can get 60 plus on FanDuel, minus 155. Then you got Sean O'Malley, over 1.5 rounds, and on the money line, plus 320. Like I said, you can now get this on DraftKings at a plus 330. Another one that I do like, if you think Merab's going to win, this is going to happen. Merab Dvalishvili, over 5.5 over 5.5 takedowns, minus 110. That's on Bet Rivers. This same wager is a minus 135 on DraftKings. So shop around. If you're on the Merab side, shop around, for the takedown prop. Or you could do 3 or 4 takedowns and Merab to win by decision if you wanted to. I believe that brings it pretty close to even money. And then we've got our parlays. Now there's one parlay in here we haven't talked about also. Actually, 2 of them. So we've got sorry, we haven't talked about any of these. So my first parlay is a 3-piece parlay. It's going to be Bruno Silva and Joshua Van fight over 1.5 rounds. Then we got Merab and Omalley over 3.5 rounds. And then we've got Pena Harrison over 1.5 rounds. That's plus 111. I've got almost two units on this. So I've got quite a bit on it. I've got a good chunk on this. I really like this a lot. Then I did a fun little sprinkle parlay of 5 fights to end by unanimous decision. I played one of these last week and I hit it. So I figured, what the heck? Let's run it back for like $5 or whatever. So I've got Silva Van, Bautista Mix, Merab versus Omalley, Selkud Ashmoose fight, and the De Silva or Lipsky, whatever you want to call her, versus Wang fight. All 5 of these fights must end by unanimous decision to win this. Now, if you want to change up the last one and just take the Merab fight to go the distance instead, I mean, it would probably drop it down to a plus 2,500, but then you would have a way to hedge it if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it the way it is because I literally only have $5 on it. Like, it's going to pay out like, I don't know, close to $200 or something like that, I think. So I'm just doing that for fun, just for something to do. And then I've got a 3-piece parlay on FanDuel. Ju Sang Woo on the money line. Mirzakhanov inside the distance. Harrison by submission/decision. This is a plus 121 on FanDuel. This is a 3-piece parlay that I like a lot. I've got 1 unit on that. And then my third, actually there's 2, there's kind of 2 different parlays here. The only books I got on these is DraftKings, O'Malley plus 9.5, Spivak plus 7.5. That's a plus 103. That just basically means they either both got to win or they can't get finished, and they would both have to win 1 round. Actually, Spivak would only have to win 1 round on one judge's scorecard. If you add Paxi Mix to this at a plus 3.5, that's a plus 154. And if you want to take Spivak out and throw Mix in instead, I think it's a minus 128 or something like that. So you can play around with it if you want. But these are 3 fights that I like on the point system. So there's a little bit longer this week, but I think we got it. And this is very, very, very good card that we got going on here. I hope that I hope that I explained stuff really well of what I'm going to be playing, and hopefully everyone was able to catch everything that I said. And hopefully, if anyone has any questions, please shoot them at me. Check me out on Twitter at ggip, I believe is what it is. I don't even remember, but just type in my name on Twitter, and I'm sure you'll find me. Or if you're part of Early Edge, you can look me up in their Discord. But hopefully we cash some tickets here, and everybody have a great week.